The Minnesota twins adoption study conducted by Professor Thomas Bouchard shows that twins that grow up in completely separate environments often take up the same professions and hobbies, have similar personalities, and have even experienced similar psychotic episodes. Researchers were shocked at just how similar they ended up. Studies like these and others show genetics play a substantive role in individual and group traits and personalities. Do you believe that genes play an important role in the development of humans?
Well, of course genes play an important role, but I don't believe that they are dispositive. And you can actually tell in twins also go off in very different ways, kind of shockingly. So look, we all know there's such a thing as genetics, but we don't know as much about it as people think we do. That's the first thing. And in the end, if you don't believe that people have free will, then there's really not much point in talking about what people do anyway, because it's all kind of programmed in there. And I do believe people have free will. I think it's obvious people have free will. It's obvious from our internal experience that we have free will. So I wouldn't dismiss genes, but I always find myself talking about genetics with people who've never really studied genetics, and I think that we know a lot less than we think we do. Go ahead.
Do you believe that the West is more successful than a continent like Africa because we have more freedom, or do you think it's because of different reasons?
Oh, I think, see, this is where my goofy imitation comes in. Because really, the material that goes into a civilization is so vast, so diverse, comes from so many different places, that to peg it on genetics or skin color or race is goofy level thinking. I mean, even Goofy wouldn't fall for that. The complexity is so great. And the way you know, here's how you know this. Here's how you know it, okay? In Britain, it was the Irish who were the bad guys, the dumb guys, the guys who couldn't accomplish anything. The Irish came to America and were very successful. In Russia, it were the Jews who were the criminal class. The Jews, they were such a criminal class that when the Russian Jews came to Germany, the German Jews didn't want to know them. But when they came to America, they thrived. It always kills me when people who love Western civilization, as I love Western civilization, I actually think Western civilization and European civilization is so far the pinnacle of human achievement. It had to happen somewhere. I think it happened there. But what kills me about Western civilization is it was built by the people that the Romans thought were the barbarians. When the Romans talked about building a wall, it was the Europeans they wanted to keep out. Right? They thought these guys were the worst of the worst. They thought they were absolutely the stupidest people on earth. They went off and built a civilization. This happens all the time. It happens all the time. It is amazing what environment will do, and it is even more amazing what good ideas will do. Good ideas, I think it's always about following the ideas. Good ideas can transform anybody. And I think that our civilization, look, so much goes into these things that the limiting the goodness of a society to one angle, one aspect, is just ridiculous. Chance goes into it, weather goes into it, ideas that come from you don't know where go into it. But always the one thing we can do is pick between good ideas and bad ideas, and that's I think our only chance to move forward.